Hey guys, welcome to A Moment with Miss Dudley. Miss Dudley, this is episode 32, episode 11, 3211. 3211, that's episode 32, Vlogmas episode 11. It's currently 9:55 a.m. I started 3110 probably about 3 minutes ago, 3 to 5 minutes ago. I have to go back in there and give a timestamp, but that's probably the timestamp for it. At any rate, um, This is gonna be like part two of being a caregiver. Um, I started talking about how how it feels to be a caregiver for not just a parent, but I was talking about being the caregiver for your parents and it being like your last living parent. Um, so not to go too deep back over that, but what I had some what I did mention is how I couldn't date and how my focus was on my dad and how now my focus is on my mom. Now, so that means that there's a sacrifice that you give. Um, Again, having no living children, of course there is a different perspective that you have, although you've been a parent, because it, it's hard to explain when every Mother's Day comes and knowing that you can't see your child's face, and those little teeth and those bright eyes tell you, happy Mother's Day, Mama, I love you, Mommy, I love you, happy Mother's Day, or happy birthday, Mom. Or you know you don't get to go to the PTA meetings. You don't get to see the little feet grow and stretch out the shoes you just bought. um but I can say that it still prepares you for parenthood, being a caregiver, that is, because you're still of a parent, because you're still obligated to care for them. That's your parent. Yes, they birthed you and it's your life, and you can spend your life and your days however you want, but how honorable is it if you're going to sacrifice to care for someone? Why not your parent? um and in exchange, God gives you so many things that I can't even say that he gives you. I tend to believe that he extends your life. The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father so that thy days on the earth may be extended. My paraphrase, I'm not quoting verbatim any particular version, although I am partial to and prefer the King James version of the Bible. But, you know, not just long life, when you honor your parents by caring for them, but just the wisdom you get, the times that are priceless where you and your parents are just having a conversation and they share something with you that at no other point in time you would have been able to catch them to download. And then when they're older, also, they're downloading legacy to you. They're telling you the recipes, to the family, famous family thing. And they're reminding you of this. And you always want to have this in your house, baby. You always want to have this in your house. You can never have too much of this in your house. And you can just the preparatory experiences you have. And sometimes your parents aren't. Sometimes your parents maybe have severe health challenges, and they can't speak to you or communicate with you. God forbid, if they're suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, and they're struggling with their cognizance of time and space, and even the relationships that you have with them, the true nature of the relationship that you have. And it's so hard to bear. It still is a blessing to care for them, because again, the exchange download that God gives you It's priceless. You never know when God will, zap a memory, drop a memory in your mind, a flashback, if you will, and say, remember when you were caring for your parents? Remember when I showed you this, told you that? I'm a big believer in dreams. God speaks to me in visions and in dreams. One of the big ways, anyway, the big ways. And I remember him, bringing things back to my mind of my dad, and actually showing me things that would come to pass with my father before he went home to be with the Lord. And actually, for instance, with my dad, God actually showed me a chain of events that would occur in order as they would occur during the last 2 years of caring for him. And they did exactly happen just as God showed me. The shrinkage is real, folks, with my hair. At any rate, like I was saying with my mother, she doesn't have the health challenges as my dad did, but the sacrifice is still the same. Now with my mom, she's like most mothers, culture, race, and it doesn't matter what culture you're from. It doesn't matter the race you're from. She wants you to get married to a good man, a man that can care for you emotionally, financially. And if you're a parent, when you're a parent, you know your children. So you know what each child needs, and you can say, you're going to need a man like this. And not that you don't know yourself, or you haven't, gotten to know yourself enough to be able to say at least what you recognize as suitable. Now, truthfully, bigger picture, God knows exactly who you need. And I definitely trust him to give me who I'm fit to be with. But not to digress, that's one of my favorite words. I was always saying digress because the subjects I always talk about are so large. Anyway, I'm digressing. My mom, just again, guys, the download of the things that she tells me, she shares with me, and God shows me just a glimpse. Like I can watch her walk to the refrigerator, or she could say, go bring me this, and you find yourself like the little 8-year-old. She's saying, hey, bring me the remote control, just whatever. Bring me my purse. Just the things that God can connect to that current occurrence and show you a lesson just in that moment. If you listen, if you pay attention, and you don't see the experience as something grueling and something hard, even though emotionally it is very taxing. I will admit, I must say, as a matter of fact, it's very emotionally taxing to care for a parent, but I think that all folds into the sacrifice. I don't have to stay at home and watch her 24/7. She does not require 24 hours care, like my dad did. And she encourages me, to get out. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she got the ducks for me, because it forces me to get out of bed and to, let them out, feed them, water them, clean out their enclosures. Watch for, make sure the gate is secured, watch for, changes, if there have been any breaches in the gate, or, because we have other animals wild animals that live in our backyard. We have chipmunks, we have squirrels, and we have a huge groundhog. Now, I haven't seen the groundhog lately, but I have seen, you'll see his tracks where he or she, has dug up under the gate, or you see where they've been trying to dig spots and burrow another hole into their little, burrow in the ground, I guess. But again, she cares for me, but she knows that this thing with depression, this is the battle that she cannot fight for me. Hopefully this image and this reference will bring it home. If any of you have seen the movie Ray, where Jamie Foxx gives a flawless portrayal of the blues singer Ray Charles, and there's a scene where there's a flashback, and he's walking through his home when his mom is trying to teach him how to find his way, and he's feeling around, and he's barefoot. He stubs his toe, falls, and he's screaming, "Mama, mama, help." And she's there, but she renders herself silent, although she is full of emotion, full of tears, and full of the compassion and drive to immediately run to her child's aid. She sees that she has to be silent and holding her tears, and sees him decide that, okay, mama's not here. I have to get up and find my way. So he gets up, he feels around, his ears catch certain sounds, and you see the camera zoom to the certain sound. Then he catches himself with an earshot of a cricket that's in his house, or a grasshopper, whatever that was. He stoops, he toddles, not toddles, but he finds his way over to it, leans down on the ground, feels around, places his hand on the cricket, picks it up, puts it to his ear to confirm, yes, that's what I was hearing. I made it from that point where I've fallen to the point where the cricket is. And then when she sees that, she's overwhelmed with even that much more emotion, and she sniffs, or like catches her breath in her tears, and he says, "I hear you, mama, you're right there." And she slowly releases, her tears and her emotion, and she's like, "Yeah, baby." And he's like, "Well, mom, why are you crying?" And she says, "I'm happy." She embraces him, and she's crying because I'm happy. And by sharing that, I shared this. There's so many things that my mom, has tried to download to me, in this period of what I think is a sacrifice, to take care of her, when emotionally it's taxing on her too, to, live with her child that's not married and it's gone through a divorce, not like her other children, not like, to know I've had miscarriages, and to know that I have endured battles that she was not able to remove from me, take from me, relieve me of the pain. But to know that I have to tackle them, but to try her best to just equip me with any other life battle that she thinks I'm going to encounter. And what, either by silence or speaking, she's thereby equipping me, and God allows that download to happen. So, and people talk about, people may consider, at this age, aren't you able to get through life by yourself? It's not about that. That's not the point, actually. That's a total, that adulterates the point. That's not what we're talking about here. And it perverts the point more so, but the point is, how can I put it? The point is that our parents are not going to be with us always. And although you're capable of doing it, you should be a lifelong learner. And it's a blessing to still be able to teach your children something, because, that ties right into your personal purpose. You feel like you still have purpose on this earth. And as long as there's life left in your body, then yes, God still has a purpose for you. And who knows, God may have you with your parents, caring for your parents, and have your parents there with you, because there's still only lessons about life and your future that only God can trust your parent with. And it's not just a parent that can teach you things. Those of you who have children, they're in school, and you can't teach unless you're homeschooling your child. Not that you cannot learn, but there are things that only the English teacher can teach your child. There are only things that the history teacher can teach your child. There are only things that the sports teams coaches can teach your child. Math, so on and so forth. The music teacher. Life is a school, and until you check out of school, until you check out of life, you'll always be learning. It will behoove you to anyway. Just wanted to share this much with you guys. Please hit like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification button so you'll know when new episodes are coming. Don't forget that your life can change in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. So don't forget to take advantage of every moment that God gives you. Okay, guys? Take care, and God bless.